most of the time you only have to buy a sauna once. $1,000, $2,000 increase is marginal over the 10, 20 years that you're going to use it if you divide that up.
Here's one. Speaking about marketing claims, you kind of answered this inside of the group, but maybe you want to expand on it just a little bit. It was Matthew who was in here. It's like, hey, thanks for the ad. Does anyone know if there's any truth to the statement I found on this brand? Radiant Health Saunas are a Finnleo product. They use the same exact infrared heaters and electrical field shielding technology and nearly identical cabinets. So both are well built and have extremely low EMF electrical fields.
Yeah, similar. Not always exactly the same. Radiant is more stringent about checking for EMF, and the consistency and quality control is a little better. They do two modifications. One of them I can tell you about, one of them I can't. It's proprietary. Here's the big thing. So the hot tub stores sell the Finnleo product, which is very similar to the Radiant. They're both a Tylo or a Hilo product. So a lot of the guts under the hood are the same. However, the design is not the same. A lot of the saunas that are in the hot tub stores, or the Finnleo saunas or the Hilo brand, even though the guts are similar, the designs usually feature a lot of glass in the corners, or the entire front of the sauna is glass. And so the heat loss metrics are not the same. The performance against the Radiant Health is not the same. Especially, one of the things that people aren't thinking about is, like this sauna that I'm in right here, I don't have a way to show you the outside. Well, maybe I do. So can you see how there's a window here and there's wood underneath? You see that?
Yep.
So in a Finnleo product, in a model that's very similar to these, the glass on the front is the entire front of the sauna is glass. Mm-hmm. So most people think, oh, it's just a little bit of wood. It holds in some heat, blah, 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 which is true. The performance does improve if I can take this off. But what you're discounting is this. Let's see if you can see this. So there's heaters in the front. It's not just that it's better insulated, with the wood wall. There's also additional heat forward facing your body. And so the performance is drastically increased. But the kicker that I was talking about, and I didn't even bring this up, it's the guys in the Facebook group that brought it up, is if you go to a hot tub store, a lot of times they sell a similar size model for like $8,000, they were telling us. And then the Radiant, because they don't have the overhead of the store and stuff, is like $4,500 for the same size. And you get better performance, you get a little better EMF. Like, there's some pros and cons to each thing. Hey, if you want to buy a Finnleo, I'll go for it. But just know that there are differences that you're not probably paying attention to. But when you use them, so the only way you would know this is if you use them side by side, or you're familiar with saunas that have these differences in them, because you can feel it. So like when I go into a clear light sanctuary, all glass front, first thing is it suffers from massive heat loss. Second thing is, without the full spectrum heaters, which Finnleo products do not have, you just have the glass, right? So there's no additional forward facing heat. There's no far infrared facing the front of your body, number one. Number two, you got the heat loss from the glass. Number three, you've got less insulation because there's no wood. Like the wood actually holds in the heat much, much better than any glass. Doesn't matter if it's completely sealed. None of the saunas use insulated glass. I mean, that would be obviously a game changer, but it's very expensive.
That's solid. Because, it's a question that keeps popping up. What about this one? What about that one? And I think so many people go into the store, like you're saying, because they don't know any better. They don't know anything. They've never heard anything before. And they just take the first person's advice. Oh, yeah, the guy at the store told me to get this one because it's got glass. Like not even hearing about you or anything else.
And let's be clear, like the intention is not to shove anyone to a particular brand. Of course, buy what's right for you. The thing is, a lot of times you go into the hot tub store and no one's going to tell you about this stuff. They just have no idea. They're just not that familiar with the product. And there are special cases. We had a lady in the group maybe 2 months ago. She said, hey, I have a friend that works at a hot tub store local to me. I went and looked at these Finnleo saunas. They looked awesome. And because I'm a friend of the family, they offered me a steep discount. I can get one for like $3,500. I said, buy it. She's like, really? You don't think I should spend the extra money for a Radiant? I was like, no, it's going to be $1,000 more for a similar size thing. You're going to pay probably $700 and some for shipping because you're really far away from the thing. And, I asked her, what's important to you about this? And she's like, well, money's kind of tight, but we're trying to get this or that for the family. I was like, buy it. She's like, really? I'm like, yes, absolutely. Because the trade-off for her it wasn't worth it. If it was somebody else and they were like, hey, I've got this health condition or I'm trying to do this, finance isn't the most important part, and I want the best, I want the most far infrared that I can possibly get because I want to detox from this or I'm trying to do this, then I'd say, hey, it's worth the extra $1,200 or the $1,000 plus the shipping. Because the other thing is, most of the time you only have to buy a sauna once. Like, so $1,000, $2,000 increase is marginal over the 10, 20 years that you're going to use it if you divide that up. But I try to be objective in the suggestions, because even though I think for me the products are absolutely worth the extra money, they're not for everybody. So we be straightforward about that. If you're not a good fit for it, I'm going to tell you.